Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We are following two breaking news stories happening downriver, including a father shot and killed in front of his teenage son. But we'll begin tonight at 11 in Flat Rock, where a manhunt is underway for a husband after his wife is found dead inside their home.
Just moments ago, police identified him as Amos Lowe and released this picture. His wife's body was found this afternoon at their home off Gibraltar and Sheiks. Mara McDonald is live at the scene. Mara, this search has gone late into the evening here. What are police saying?
Kimberly, at this point, they are referring to him as a person of interest in this case, but it's pretty clear that Flat Rock police have been looking for him for at least 10 hours. This all started around 1 o'clock this afternoon. Police here in Flat Rock got a call from a friend saying they were concerned about his wife and that they needed to do a welfare check. Let me show you how this has developed over the afternoon and evening. Flat Rock police are not releasing the name of the victim, and although we know who she is, I don't know whether all of her next of kin have been notified. So for that reason, I will just say she is a 30-year-old woman who lives in the home with her husband. Originally, police referred to this as a death investigation, but it became increasingly clear as the MSP Mobile Forensics Lab showed up that they suspected foul play. Later tonight, Flat Rock police now confirm this is a murder investigation, and within the last half hour, police are now confirming they are looking for this man, Amos Lowe, her husband, who has not been seen since the discovery of her body. Back here live, they are referring to Lowe as a person of interest. They have been looking at him for at least the last 10 hours, apparently to no avail at this point. They released the photo of him within the last half hour. If you know the whereabouts of Amos Lowe, Flat Rock PD, they'd like to hear from you. We're live in Flat Rock tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Okay, Mara, we are also following breaking news in Taylor, where a father is shot and killed in front of his 15-year-old son. Police
have arrested a 70-year-old neighbor. Tim Pamplin on the scene tonight with the night cam. Tim.
The shooting occurring on Cornell Street, Telegraph and I-94 in Taylor. A dispute that erupted out of control over some free firewood one neighbor was giving away. The 70-year-old neighbor was dragging it down the street. The man who was giving it away got upset when the elderly man started tearing up his driveway. The two started having words and then...
Pop, pop, pop. And I knew I just had a really bad feeling. I ran in, grabbed my keys.
Toby was staying across the street. He got in his car, went down to the elderly man's house, saw the victim's 15-year-old son running away from the scene. He had just witnessed his father getting shot 3 times.
When I approached Rick and I seen him on the ground, I could see he was shot. I was very hesitant. I looked around, and I was scared too. You don't run toward gunshots. When I got there, you could tell he was having problems breathing, so I started CPR.
Toby was giving his neighbor CPR with the gunman watching on. Toby says the first police officer arrived in a matter of minutes.
And he asked me, "Where's the shooter?" And I pointed to the gentleman, and he was sitting on his patio. And when he arrested him, I stopped doing CPR because he wasn't even gasping for air. And I just sad. He was a good guy.
Now, I did speak to the 70-year-old man's daughter and wife this evening. They're saying this was a case of self-defense, saying that the man who was giving away the firewood attacked him with a shovel. That is the scene tonight in Taylor with a night cam. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
All right, Tim. Hopefully we'll learn more tomorrow. Meanwhile, as the Dr. Robert Anderson scandal at the University of Michigan threatens the once untouchable reputation of Bo Schembechler, more are coming to his defense. Jason Colthorpe is live at Schembechler Hall tonight with the latest. Jason.
And Devin, this is a real struggle now because you have survivors who are saying, one player's experiences with Bo could be completely different than another player's. And of course, we do have more former players coming to his defense, and tonight, so is his family. The legacy of Bo Schembechler is now clouded with uncertainty, and the fight to preserve it is starting to feel like one of the rough and tough Big Ten games he coached in the 70s and 80s. Bo's widow, Kathy, son Glenn, and daughter-in-law Megan responding to his son Matt's allegations that he knew of Anderson's abuse and tried to protect him. Quote, "In our steadfast opinion, Bo was not aware of such conduct and assumed that any procedures were medically appropriate," they said in a statement tonight. As he demonstrated at many points in his career and to us as a family, Bo had a clear and compelling sense of right and wrong. He would not have tolerated misconduct, especially toward any of his players, family members, coaches, or anyone associated with the University of Michigan's football program.
You have to always believe the people that are coming out, but it's hard to, know the facts without, investigating further.
On campus, people are able to believe some aspects of this scandal more than others.
I have a problem with where it's coming from because he couldn't speak up about it until he was dead for 15, 20 years.
I can see how it's definitely more personal for the older generation. And I understand why they would take it that way. They grew up on him versus for us. He wasn't our coach, even though he is our coach. So it definitely does change things, but you don't, as I said, you still got to wait for more to come out.
Now, I also spoke with someone affiliated with the football team. Didn't want to be identified, but knew Bo personally. He found Matt Schembechler's account. He questions that for the same reason Jim Brandstatter questions it, and that is in 1969, before Bo even coached a football game, he doesn't think he would have had the power to stop the firing of a doctor. However, that said, what he finds very believable would be if a player came forward to complain about these allegations from Dr. Anderson, he very easily could see Bo saying, toughen up. Back to you.
Jason, we heard one of the guys you talked to there, though, talking about waiting for more to come out. That's going to happen tomorrow. We've got a big group of accusers that are going to be at the big house then.
Yeah, dozens of survivors are going to be there, and what they're doing is they want the Board of Regents to take notice of this now, and something we've also heard that more survivors who have yet to come forward may do that very soon, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Stay tuned. Devin?
We will cover it throughout the day. All right, Jason. An update now to a story we first brought you last night at 11. A Warren police officer accused of making racist posts on Facebook is now on administrative leave.
And today, Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer addressing those posts and making it clear that type of behavior won't be tolerated.
Very negative impact on every man and woman, the men and women in blue. We have African American police officers here, and they're very disappointed in what happened. I can tell you that.
The posts included that black people are the most racist in the world and that he was glad he wasn't born black because he'd kill himself. The officer is accused of making those posts on his personal account while off duty. Dwyer did not name the officer, but says he is a Warren resident.
An Oakland County woman is accused of sharing child porn online. 44-year-old Courtney Klein turned herself in after state police executed the search warrant at her home in White Lake. During the search, troopers seized evidence in connection with the child porn investigation. She is charged with a number of felonies, and she could face up to 20 years in prison if she's convicted. Tonight, a reminder of just how deadly the pandemic has been as the United States hits another milestone.
Now, more than 600,000 Americans have died from COVID. That equals the yearly death toll from cancer. Meanwhile, the CDC saying the Delta variant that originated in India is a concern. It's believed to be more contagious or can cause more serious disease. Today, Michigan reports 182 new cases and 26 additional deaths. The vaccination rate is up to 60.6%. And we've all dealt differently with pandemic stress, but it turns out many people turn to alcohol.
We've seen a trend with the homeschooling, increased responsibilities at home, not knowing the financial situation at home.
Tomorrow morning on Local 4 News Today, the warning signs that your drinking is in dangerous territory and how to start tackling this troubling trend.
Michigan Senate passing a bill to give schools billions in COVID funding. It would give $4.4 billion in federal money to K-12 schools. The House is expected to vote on this tomorrow. It leaves more than $300 million in federal funding for schools still left to be spent, so negotiations continue on how to spend the remaining federal money and the state budget.
The University of Detroit Mercy announcing its women's basketball coach has left the university. Back in January, allegations were made by parents of the 14 players on the team that head coach Anne-Marie Gilbert was abusing her players. The university later canceled the remainder of the season amid the allegations. The Free Press is reporting Gilbert's exit was, quote, an HR personnel matter and not connected with NCAA violations. Still ahead, a shoplifter fills a garbage bag with stolen goods, all with a security guard watching.
Where crimes like this keep happening, causing retailers to close their stores. Coming up, let's check in with Ben.
Devin and Kim, we're finishing up a pretty nice afternoon, but if you're heading to bed with the windows open, you'll probably want to hang around to see what we have to say about that. That's in a few minutes.
All right, Ben, but first, shots fired outside a Detroit club leads to a chase in the News Center neighborhood. We'll have that when we continue.
And we continue to follow that breaking news that we told you about at the beginning of the newscast. It's happening in Flat Rock, where police are looking for this man. He is Amos Lowe. He is a person of interest in his wife's death.
She was found dead today at their home near Gibraltar Road in Sheiks. Lowe has not been seen since, so anyone with information about what happened or his whereabouts is asked to contact Flat Rock Police. More updates throughout the night on ClickOnDetroit.com.